What's up, broskies? It's TCK here, and today I'm doing something I mentioned in my last vlog. I'm doing a draw my life sort of thing. So you guys probably remember this when I went to Disney World / Universal, Orlando you could say, a few weeks ago. Anyway, I want to do my first draw my life story. I want to do it about the build up to all of this. So what happened was my Mom and Dad, they told me they were picking me up early from school on Friday before Columbus Day weekend. They're saying, alright, I'm going to start a little farther back. I'm going to start, a few days prior, I got sick, and my parents were really, really mad. Because they were like, this is not the time for you to get sick. And I'm like, it's never the time for me to get sick. You say that all the time. And so I got better, and then, I got better, so they were a little happier about that. It was Friday. I'm like, I'm feeling great today. They're like, that's good. And so they're like, we're going to pick you up early. We're taking you to the doctors, the nutritionist, because, as you can tell, I'm short. I don't eat enough. They wanted to take me to the nutritionist. They set up an appointment for a day before October 9th, and that was supposed to be, like earlier in September, and so we didn't make it on time, and it was a big long story. We went to Smashburger, and anyway, so it's October 9th, I'm leaving early, I get in the car, my mom made up a story that we're dropping her off because she had to go to Toledo for a business trip, and I already thought this was like a little weird because she was just on a business trip like the week before. She was in Mexico. No, not Mexico. She was in a town called Mexico in Missouri. And so I'm like, all right, so you're going on 2 business trips in 2 weeks in a row. She says she's going to Toledo. And you can hear me, I was making, like, inferences about them, like, my mom said she was going to Toledo. You could hear me say this in the video. And so, we get to the airport, and on the way to the airport, I'm already because one time, I've had my parents surprise me a few times before, when I went to Arizona when I was, like, 8 years old. It was 2008, it was November, I convinced my dad onto going into a 2-day trip to Baltimore, but we weren't going to Baltimore that morning. It was a big story. Anyway, I knew what my parents were capable of, so I kept on making guesses. I'm like, am I going to Toledo with you, or did you make me wear pants today because we're going to Canada? That was something like it. They're laughing like the whole time when I'm making these guesses, and they keep looking at each other, and I'm like, they're acting a bit weird. And so I keep making these guesses, and I'm like in the back seat. I'm about ready to, yes, I'm a kid. I'm about ready to cry because I'm like, they're not taking me anywhere, are they? And so we get to the airport, and my mom is like, all right, come out, hug your mom goodbye. And I'm like, all right. And I go to the back seat, and my backpack is in the trunk, not my school backpack. My school backpack I dropped in the back seat, but my backpack is in the trunk. And I go out, and I was about to help her get the suitcase out, and my dad's like, all right, can you tell me what gate your mom is at? And I'm like, sure, it's gate C36, I think it was. And so I'm looking at it, and I'm like, here, and they're like looking at me funny, and I'm like, oh, here's my backpack. And I'm like, I must have left this in the car when we went somewhere. And I was like, wait a minute, but I didn't. And I pick it up, and I'm like, oh, and there's stuff in it too. And so I'm like, wait a minute. Earlier today, I thought I saw it in this storage room in my house. And then I'm thinking for a minute, I'm like, yo, what the heck? And then my dad shows me the boarding pass again, and he goes, look next to the gate. And so I look next to the thing that says gate, and I see TPA. And then I look on there, and I'm like, well, is that Toledo? And then I'm like, no, Toledo doesn't have a P in it, or an A. And so I look on there, and it says Tampa. And I'm like, you're going to Tampa? And I look up, and they're smiling at me, and I'm like, we're going to Tampa? and I got really excited really fast, and I just lost all emotion I had, and I just broke down, and I was like crying at this point. And so I was hugging my parents, and then I find out my dad's not coming with me. I'm like, dang it. And I'm like, it's alright. We're still going to Orlando. We're still going to Tampa. I didn't know at the time we're going to Orlando. I thought we were going to Tampa to see my friend, my dad's friend, more like it, Tony. Yes, Tony. That's his name. And then my mom's like, we're going to Disney and Universal. And I'm like, we're going to Disney and Universal? She's like, yeah, we're leaving now. We're coming back Monday. And so I'm like, all right, we're going to Disney. And I'm like, then why can't we go to Orlando? And then she's like, well, because airfare was too expensive and stuff. And I'm like, it's fine, whatever. And we're like at the gate, which I started the video at. And we're just thinking like, wait, did I forget anything? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, I need new shoes. I'm wearing my great new KDs. Well, not new, but relatively new. I'm like, I'm wearing my KDs. I don't want to wear my KDs to Universal and Disney. And I'm like, everything I said, I would normally be like so mad at. But no, if it was a surprise. So I'm like, all right, it's okay. And it's like, my mom actually packed my camera. She remembered to pack my camera. And then this happened, and then I'm going to fast forward to after we went to Disney and Universal. We get home, and I'm like, this is the best trip ever, and I'm like, I really don't want to go back to school. And so I was like, you could even see it in my face. I was like really sad when I was vlogging. I had, as you can tell, I had a great time there. And then, I don't know, I went to school the next day, and I'm like, well, man, maybe run away back to Florida. And then it's like one of those things where you do something really good, and then you can't get over how good it was, and you think, oh, if my life was like this, and you don't want to go back to reality, so you try to think, how can I avoid this? And then it's about a month later now, and I'm like, fine. You know what? You gotta go back to reality. That's what you gotta do. Anyway, yeah, I really had a fun time there. Next time I do one of these stories, I have no idea what it's gonna be about. I was thinking a little bit about what it would be like. This part of the channel is inspired by somebody who I found through people making fun of the guy. He's a children's author, Michael Rosen. I'll leave the link to his channel in the description. He doesn't really do YouTube anymore, though. He might have quit. He was a British children's story maker, and I started watching some of his videos. Not that like, oh, you're a child, you can't watch children's videos. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna see like what he's about. And I'm like, I want to make something like this. So anyway, yeah. I should be coming out with another skit this week. I'm thinking of doing one of these once every week. Because, like, in between skits, like, after I finish a skit, alright, let's do a story now. I want to do a story. That's what my channel is about, mostly. If I want to do a skit, if I'm feeling like I want to do a skit, I'll do a skit. If I want to feel like, you know what? I've done like 3 skits in a row. I want to do something different. I'm going to do this story. I'm going to do that. Maybe I might add more things on this channel. I don't know. Anyway, I didn't mention this at the end of my vlog. But have a fantastic week. Have an even better weekend next weekend. Because I won't see you until Sunday when this comes out. Anyway, peace out, broskies.